it's just really weird. And then I remember my mom told me yesterday, she was saying like, oh, if you pick up an umbrella, and just if you pick up an umbrella, you're basically inviting ghosts back to your place.
Well, oh
Really?
my god, I have invited so many ghosts to my place. I
I've
always
found so
pick up
many
umbrellas.
ghosts on the bus, I guess.
I know,
yeah.
it's like...
I hadn't paid for an umbrella in years.
Well, you don't have to in Vancouver.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
So great, the umbrella area in my house is haunted. That's so good to know.
Something like that, but then I think the belief was that it originated from like ancient China, where like everything had like a paper... It was like paper umbrella, and then there was like an urban legend about like the umbrella ghost who just walks around, and then she would drop the umbrella, and then when you pick it up, you give it back to her, and she would have like no face or something like that.
Oh,
there's a lot of urban legends
spooky.
that are similar to that.
Like no face, or like girl with long hair that covers her face, kind of deal. It's just
Slit-mouthed woman in Japan.
Oh yeah, where she wears like the mask.
Yeah, or the ghost chick in China that has a painted-on face.
That's fun.
Cool.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, how she seduces, like, scholars, and then, like, she will ask them, like, oh, do you love me? And then she show her face, and then she would, like, draw it on every single night. And then underneath, like, her drawn paper face is actually this real horrid thing, so...
Awesome.
That's rad.
That sounds cool.
They made, like, a movie.
I keep thinking of, Bad Cop from Lego Movie, though.
I don't
crudely drawn on.
I do not think it was like that.
Yeah, girl.
Don't
change. Don't change.
No.
But yeah,
just start speaking like Liam Neeson. How about now?
Okay, yes, I'm back in.
Right?
Liam Neeson as a ghost, that would be terrifying.
Oh, yeah,
It won't ever stop. It will find you.
And kill you.
Insert Taken joke here. I haven't seen it in a while, and I haven't seen any of the sequels. I'm sorry.
Don't watch the sequels.
No.
I sort of got the hint. I saw the trailer for the second one, and was
second one was like, okay, your wife is being kidnapped, and then the third one, nobody's actually being kidnapped.
And it was PG-13.
Yeah, doesn't his wife die? Sorry, spoiler alert for shitty movie.
In the third one, yeah.
Oh, good, because
He got framed. So I guess she was physically taken from him.
And his life was taken from him now.
It was so bad. I was watching on the plane, I'm like, I can't believe I spent 2 hours on a fucking plane watching this shit.
Oh, no.
I could have watched, like, I don't know.
The Sky?
Yeah. Or I could have slept, but no, I just don't watch movies.
Yeah. Hey, when you're on an airplane, you watch really terrible movies like Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen.
You sounded so ashamed.
Yeah.
I remember going to theaters watching that.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'll never watch this again. And then it was on the plane. I'm like, I gotta do something while the pink eye's festering.
Okay.
Thanks for spreading that to everyone.
No, I got it from the plane.
Oh, good. Oh.
Would it make you feel better if I said that I went to theaters and watched the second Ghost Rider movie?
Oh, how was that?
Terrible.
Okay.
Oh, darn. Even when he pees fire?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's a terrible gonorrhea joke.
When you put Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, it just doesn't work. You know?
I think I wanted it to work so bad, and I mean, it had the people who made Crank, and I love the Crank movies.
Yeah. This is the second one. It's just so terrible. The first one was already kind of like averagely mediocre.
Well,
the Ghost Rider, like the effects looked a lot better.
Yeah, that was
than the
great.
second one.
Yeah,
like it actually looked like a skull that was on fire, and
compared to like CGI.
Yeah, it just looked like a CGI with fire overlaid on it. In the first one, it was really bad.
So I don't know. Blackheart was probably one of my favorite villains.
They fucked him up.
Oh, they fucked him up so hard.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, it's a guy with a coat.
Like, who whines at his dad. That was that's what you want in a villain, right?
God, that's
not the original Blackheart from Marvel vs.
Marvel vs. Capcom. He was like shooting demons out of the ground and stuff. He's got like crazy dreads, no mouth, big red eyes. Yeah. Fuck, it's the coolest shit. Superstitions again.
Superstitions. I'm trying to think of movies that revolve around superstition, and most of the ones I can think of usually have to do with urban legends. Basically, it's this whole idea, they become folkloric tales of... Yeah. They're basically morality lessons. I'm sure you've gleaned that from any urban legends, and especially against teenage promiscuity. Basically, the idea that premarital sex is the worst, and people with hooks for hands will murder you. Yes.
Just don't do it in the cabin.
Those are the best place to do it.
Oh, man.
In the cabin, in the lake, against that tree, while running from Jason.
Yeah, but the movie Urban Legends, it has Alicia Witt in it. It's from the 90s. It was one of those post-Scream movies that very much tried to be the whole slight meta-commentary on the genre, and it had Robert Englund in it, which is
really?
He played a professor and was a bit of a red herring. Maybe he did it, but he didn't. He's just there for people to go, hey, look, it's Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, exactly.
And basically a killer who, surprise, it turns out it's the best friend of the main character. Spoiler alert. She is killing people in the style of various urban legends in revenge for her boyfriend who was accidentally killed in an urban legend style pranking.
Yeah, I think I remembered seeing this.
Yeah, basically the main character and one of her other friends did that prank where basically the urban legend is that if you're driving and you see a car that doesn't have their headlights on and you flash your brights to get them to turn their light on, then they'll chase you because it's supposedly a gang initiation and that they have to chase them and shoot them down, and that's how you join a gang. Bear in mind, of course, street gangs don't work like that, and they normally just shoot other gangs. So that has never actually happened. So they did that, and they chased what turned out to be the killer's boyfriend, and he flipped into a ditch or something, like a dumbass, and he died, so therefore she blames this girl and the concept of urban legends and starts killing people in the style of, hey, killing them when they're making out in cars, doing that whole thing where, what was it? The main character also had a roommate who was a very promiscuous goth girl. I liked her a lot.
Me too.
Yeah, she, on a very shallow note, she was quite hot. And but then the main character had walked in on her having sex several times, so that sort of became an almost routine of, oh, that's happening again, I'm just going to listen to my headphones. And then the one time she comes home and she's not having sex, she is in fact being murdered, and then she wakes up with blood painted on the wall saying, aren't you glad you didn't turn the lights on? That classic urban legend of, a killer was here the whole time.
Yeah, it was under your bed.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Basically, they sort of prey on, I guess, sort of superstitions of fear of death, fear of young people having sex, repercussions for things that you want to do when you're young and reckless, and they're basically become moral lessons of you shouldn't do these because someone will kill you.
Yeah.
And it just got milked into a movie that was terrible.
But had a hot goth girl.
It
and
did.
Robert Englund.
And hilariously had Tara Reid trying to scream, which I don't know if you've noticed, but she has a heavy smoker's voice and not very much sound came out of her. Also, Brad Dourif was in the movie. I just remembered that. He was basically the gas station attendant in the opening kill scene where he seems like a creepy, suspicious person, and he's trying to warn the girl that she has someone in her backseat.
Another urban legend.
Yes.
Oh, it sounds almost like a rogues gallery, though, of like...
Yes.
All the
or movie fans,
super bad things and just put it in a movie.
They're just like, who wants a paycheck?
Basically. And they did make sequels, but no one saw them, including me, and I watch a lot of terrible horror movies, but...
Yeah. It's hard to, like, have a slasher franchise that isn't Scream.
Yeah.
I find that to be the case, that slasher franchises usually are on the strength of who the killer is, and this was just an angry person bitter over a thing that happened, and who was in most of the movie, so they don't become that interesting of a killer. Also, I believe she died at the end. See, I remember a lot of things, but I don't actually remember how it ended, so hooray.
She tripped over a black cat and hit her head on.
Sure, why not?
Under a ladder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that.
And then glass fell on her. Like a mirror fell on her. And, like,
oh god, yeah. Oh no, the glass falling on someone thing was
Final Destination.
Final Destination.
Yeah.
That scene was like, even when I was younger and I watched it and everyone was like, oh my god, I'm like, the glass was just shattered. He would have been like...
Yeah, exactly.
He would have been hurt, but he wouldn't have died. That's fucking stupid.
You know what's the stupidest thing, though, from one of the Final Destination movies?
All of it?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
It's like one of them is like he's mowing the lawn and then a freaking rocket got inside and it just launched into his brain. It's like, the fuck?
You know, I'm sure that has put out people's eyes before.
Yeah, but still, it's like you
Which is why you should wear goggles when you're mowing the lawn, pro tip, but yikes.
it won't be strong enough to actually pierce your skull.
Yeah,
no, and even if you say, well, they wanted to have an interesting death, guess what? That's not very interesting.
That's really
That's
boring.
not cool or interesting in a film level, so work a bit harder.
And when you're like, selling the movie to be like, oh, you can die from anything.
Yeah.
You might as well just say, I tripped on a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoops. I think that also, Final Destination also plays a bit into superstitions, just in this whole idea of you can't escape your fate kind of thing, and if you do something wrong, then the universe will punish you, even if you tried to avoid it.
Yeah, death wills finds use.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It just goes back to the whole, like, if it's your time, it's your time kind of deal, right?
Yeah, it's the idea that it's all sort of pre-selected, and it's going to happen one way or another.